Hello and congrats, we're back with some more Buffalo Sabres franchise mode in FHM 12. And in this one, we are in the offseason of year number 7, I believe it is, leading into year number 8. For the most part, we are set. We did have a little bit of a cap issue at the end of the last episode, but after sending a few players down, we are down to 91 million. So we're roughly 4 million below the salary cap ceiling. So we have a little bit of wiggle room to work with. So I went ahead and approached Michael Hrabal with a contract offer, which is almost 2 million for, I believe it was 1 or 2 years. And then there's also Scott Ratzlaff, who I approached as our third stringer, because we currently only have Levi in net. But besides all that, that should be just about it. I don't think there's much else we're going to be able to do in our cap situation. And honestly, I hate to say this, but I think we may have to, this may be the last year of Tage Thompson. And the reason I say that is because we take a look at his contract renewal. He currently wants 11.7 million for 1 year. And with how he was last season, 45 points, he's just not worth that money anymore. And we're not going to be able to afford that going into this upcoming offseason for sure, because we have the contracts of Ostlund coming up. He wants roughly 6 million. Then you also have the contract of, where is he? Gavin McKenna, I believe. Yeah, Gavin McKenna is also coming up. He wants 6.3 for 4 years. There's no way we're going to be able to afford all that. And also Thompson, right? So I think Thompson, unfortunately, is going to have to walk in free agency. I'm not trading him because obviously we're still in a position where we are a contending team. I'll see if we can get one more Stanley Cup with Tage Thompson before we are basically forced to move on from him. And I'm not going to trade him because he spent the majority of his long career with us here so far. Obviously had a short stint with St. Louis early on in his career. But for the most part, he's been an incredible Buffalo Sabre, and I don't want to trade him. I want to let him walk off the team on his own terms. And then from there, he can decide what to do in free agency. But I'm not going to be trading him off the team, that's for sure. He's earned the right to stay out his contract and compete for one more Stanley Cup with us before we were forced to move on from him. Anyway, with that being said, let's move on to the draft announcement on July 5th. And there you go. Ratzlaff has signed a new deal with us, and now we're going to have to renegotiate with Hrabal. He wants 2.3 for 2 years. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. I'm not going to go much higher, though. It's not like we'll be able to anyway. So there you go, 2.4 for 2 years. And let's see the draft lottery. We're actually in it this year, as we do have a pick from, who was it? The Islanders. So it looks like the Islanders just barely missed the playoffs here. So we're going to have a very small chance of moving up. We're not going to be able to get the first or second overall pick because we're too far back for that, I believe. But we can, at the very least, I would imagine, move up to the top 5. So that would be nice if that happens, but it's highly unlikely. So let's see what the result is here. At number 16, you have Toronto, followed by your Buffalo Sabres at number 15. That was expected. Number 14, you have Tampa, followed by Florida, Philly, LA, Montreal, Boston, Calgary, Montreal again, Vegas, Dallas, San Jose at number 4, Minnesota at number 3, and Columbus at number 2, Nashville at number 1. All right, here we go. Time for the drafts of year number 7. You have a 5-star potential defenseman available, Ilshat Zutinov, projected to be picked at number 5. Career stats last year had 15 points in 31 games played, 56 overall grade. Very few strengths and weaknesses. He doesn't really have much on him there. Then personality is okay, actually pretty good. He seems to perform better under pressure. I like that. It's not like we're going to be able to get him unless he falls to 15 somehow, but I highly doubt that. So let's see who goes first overall. And yep, it will indeed be Ilshat Zutinov going to the Nashville Predators. So let's see who is available for us to pick here at number 15. And of course, it's a bunch of goaltenders in the top, what is that, 6? The top 6 goaltenders. Highest potential skater is 2.5 star. Oh, okay. I like this guy, at least for his strengths and weaknesses and his personality. The strongest part of his game is his intangibles, like that. Physical strength is above average, pretty good stamina, above average skater, decent on-ice vision. The weakest part of his game is his goal-scoring ability. He's a defenseman, though, and the worst aspects of his game are still relatively strong. And then personality-wise, he's a big game performer. Love that. Everyone seems to love him, and he's comfortable in new surroundings. So I don't see any negatives about him, really. He's a 2.5 star potential. He's going to be a project for sure. I mean, this franchise mode will probably be over by the time this guy is ready, right? But still, he's certainly very impressive as far as his scouting page goes. So definitely going to keep an eye on him at the very least. And depending on what we encounter here, he very well may be the pick. Oh, wow. Apparently the projected number 1 overall pick is still available. Rastislav Karas. He's a consensus 4-star potential, but only a team scouting 2.5. 17 passing already, 18 offensive read. That's pretty interesting. 16 faceoffs rather. The rest of his defensive category isn't great. Physical category is middle of the road. And then mental ratings, you have 17 determination. I like that. Scouting page. Strongest part of his game is his playmaking. He has excellent on ice vision, above average skater, very good stamina. Weakest part of his game is his physical play. None of his weaknesses are a serious liability. Personality-wise, he can be counted on to avoid dwelling on failures. Everyone seems to love him, and pressure is his middle name. He thrives on it, so that's good. I mean, overall, he seems pretty solid. Certainly someone to consider. He had 75 points in 43 games played last season. I'm not sure what league that is. That is the Kaufland Extraliga Dorostu U18. I'm not sure if that's, I would imagine that's good for that league. He had an 83 grade after all, so he seems like a good player, and he may very well be the best available, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. Oh, okay, so you have a 2-star ability right out of the gate, only a 2.5-star potential, so he's close to already hitting his potential here. Yaroslav Bartos, the center. He's got 18 shooting accuracy, pretty well-rounded offensive category with 14s and 15s across the board. Defensive category, 17 faceoffs, 16 stick checking. Every other rating's 12 or 13. That's pretty good, I would imagine, for this point. Mental ratings, determinations at 16, team players at 13, temperaments at 20. Physical ratings are pretty good as well. I mean, some 15s in there, 14, 13, 13. Strengths only at 10. Projected to be picked at number 11. Strengths and weaknesses. Strongest part of his game is his playmaking. He's a good skater. Coaches report that he's willing to learn like that. He has a pretty good ability to read the play. Weakest part of his game is his physical play. Even the worst aspects of his game are still relatively strong. And personality-wise, one of his strongest suits is his ability to deal with adversity. A little prone to controversy, but he always handles criticism in a constructive manner. He does have the AD scouting grade, though. That's worth noting. Last year, he had 35 points in 52 games played, 63 grade. Certainly worth keeping an eye on for sure. He's certainly better than Karas right now, but I'm not sure who I would take for the long run. Then again, we only have if we're going by 10 years, we only have 3 years left, right? Clarence McDonald is also pretty interesting. He's got a decent offensive category, 16 shooting accuracy, 15 getting open. He's got a couple of ratings in the defensive category that are pretty good as well. Defensive reads at 14, stick checking is at 15, positioning is at 13. Physical ratings are acceptable, I would say. Some 12s, 13s, 14s in there. Determinations at 17, temperaments at 20. And then you take a look at his scouting page. Strengths and weaknesses. Strongest part of his game is his goal scoring ability. Pretty good ability to read the play. Skating is pretty good. Physical strength's above average. Weakest part of his game is his physical play, and he's a little prone to injuries. But then personality-wise, he gets along well with everyone, plays a very clean game, and one of his strongest suits is his ability to deal with adversity. Only an AD scouting grade once again, though. So a bit of a question mark, but I will keep an eye on him. And then there's also Linus Holmberg. He's a 1.5-star ability, 2-star potential, 3-star consensus potential. So he's almost hit his team scouting potential at this point. However, he does have 17 getting open, 14 screening, 16 puck handling, 16 shooting accuracy, 16 defensive read, 15 stick checking, and then physical rating, speeds at 17, accelerations at 16, agility at 14, balance at 15, strengths at 13, determination at 14. Yeah, I like him. I do like him so far. Let's see his strengths and weaknesses. Strongest part of his game is his skating. Pretty good ability to read the play. Skating ability is a big plus. So I guess that's how good it is. It's listed twice there. And the weakest part of his game is his physical play, extremely prone to injuries, especially that torso. Personality-wise, he has the ability to deal with adversity. Everybody loves him, and he isn't in it for the money. So I can't imagine he'll be asking for too much, or at least not as much as he could ask for normally. 39 points last year in 60 games played, 65 grade. Yeah, I mean, he seems interesting. He certainly seems interesting, so I will also keep an eye on him. So now comes the decision. Do we want a center in Karas or Bartos? Do we want a winger in McDonald or Holmberg? Or do we want the defenseman in Leppämäki? I mean, Leppämäki is going to take a while. he's definitely he's gonna be a project. He's gonna minimum take 4 or 5 years. And like I said, we may be already done with the GMO by that point. And I mean, you see how much of a logjam we have at center, right? I mean, obviously Thompson, this is probably gonna be his last year here, but we also have Oslin, we have Stenberg, we have Eklandask, we have Pedersen, we have Onofrievich coming in this year. So I think maybe winger is the play here, because we don't have too many winger prospects either. Yeah, I think winger is probably the play.
This game stinks.
All right, we're back in the game. At least we didn't go too far in the draft. We didn't make a selection, but still that's a bit annoying. So back to the entry draft we go. And this time the LA Kings have won the draft lottery. So a bit of a change in the draft order here. All right, here we go. Time to start the draft again. So now this time, instead of the Nashville Predators, Zhutinov goes to the LA Kings first overall. So I'm going to try to find all the players that I did before. All right, there you go. All those players are back on our draft list. So now I think what I'm going to do, just in case that happens again, I'm going to save here. Because I'm pretty sure that's like the second time in the past month this game has crashed on me, which is a bit concerning. So just playing it cautious here. Anyway, we wanted a winger, right? But the thing about McDonald and Holmberg is that they're both the AD scouting grade. And as a matter of fact, the only forward that doesn't have the AD scouting grade is Karas, right? Because Bartos also has the AD scouting grade. And then once again, Lepamaki he's going to take a while, right? He's not going to be ready for the NHL for 4 or 5 years. Then again, I can't imagine Karas is going to be ready within the next 2 or 3 years either. He's got a lot to work on in terms of defense and physical, especially. The only guys who I could see being NHL ready anytime soon are Holmberg and Bartos. So let's take a look at mental ratings. Bartos has a 16 determination, 13 team player, 20 temperament, 15 professionalism, and then Holmberg has a 14 determination, 10 team player, 11 leadership, 20 temperament, and 14 professionalism. So there's not really much difference between them mentally. I would say Bartos is a little bit better, just given his team player at 13 and determination at 16. Physically, I give the slight advantage to Holmberg because he got that 16 acceleration compared to 15, 14 agility compared to 13. They're tied at 15 balanced, and then 17 speed compared to 14. And then stamina is equal at 13. Strength is 13 compared to 10. So Holmberg definitely has Bartos beat physically. Offensively, they both have 14 screening, 17 getting open for Holmberg beats 14 for Bartos. 15 passing for Bartos beats 12 for Holmberg. 16 puck handling for Holmberg beats 14 for Bartos. 18 shooting accuracy compared to 16 for Bartos beats Holmberg. And then 14 offensive read for Bartos beats Holmberg with 12. And then we'll take a look at defensive ratings. I would say it looks like for the most part, Bartos is better defensively. He's got that 13 checking, 17 faceoffs, obviously is the center, 12 hitting compared to 10, 13 positioning compared to 12, stick checking is 16 compared to 15. And then the only thing that Holmberg has Bartos beat on here is defensive read at 16 compared to 13. I mean, I guess you also have to consider that Karas is ranked at number 1, right? But then again, you also, at the same time, wonder why he dropped from number 1 to number 15, right? All right, here's what I'll do. Since we have 2 first-round picks, this one at number 15 and then our next one at number 28, I'm going to hope that Holmberg is still available at number 28 because he's projected to be picked at number 27. I know that doesn't mean much in this game, but considering that Bartos was projected to be picked at number 10 and he has the 2-star ability, I think he's at higher risk of being taken before then. So I'm going to take Bartos with the hope that I can still get Holmberg at number 28. So Yaroslav Bartos, welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. There you go. Now pick until human. Yes. All right, good. Good. He's still available. And so is Karas and McDonald as well. So Karas, despite being ranked first overall, has fell to number 28. Interesting. Yeah, I like Holmberg. I really like his speed at 17, acceleration at 16, defensive reads at 16, getting opens at 17. He looks like he could potentially make an impact in the next year or two. So Holmberg, welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. So let's simulate ahead to the next pick. All right, looks like he went, where did he go? He went 49. Wow, he drops from 1 to 49. I think with this pick, I'll probably take Taylor Wilson. Right winger, 1-star ability, 2-star potential. Physical ratings, not bad. Defensive ratings could use some work. Offensive ratings are decent. Mental ratings, determination's at 16. That's good. Scouting page, strongest part of his game is his skating. He's an excellent skater, very mobile. He can handle a lot of playing time. Decent on-ice vision. Weakest part of his game is his physical play. Probably going to spend as much time in the trainer's room as on the ice. He's very injury prone. Personality-wise, he gets along well with everyone. Not really that adaptable to new environments. Tends to prefer to stay with the same team. So certainly a bit of a risk there, but he seems like the best player available at this point because there's really not much that's all too interesting otherwise. So Taylor Wilson, welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. And it looks like we actually have a back-to-back pick here. We have another pick at number 61. So I think I'll just take the goaltender Ville Johansson, 2.5-star potential. Doesn't really hurt to have another goaltender prospect in the system. So there you go, Ville Johansson. Welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. And now into pick number 92. I think with this pick, we'll be taking Stanimir Augustniak. He's a half-star ability with the 2-star potential. Some pretty good ratings in there already. 17 getting open, 16 shooting accuracy, 15 stick checking, 15 speed, 15 determination. Strengths and weaknesses. The strongest part of his game is his goal scoring. Terrific hockey sense. Skating's pretty good physical shape. Doesn't wear down quickly. Fairly durable. Weakest part of his game is his physical play, but even the worst aspects of his game are still relatively strong. Personality-wise, he has no tolerance for change, but the bigger the game, the better he performs, and he's regarded as a pretty clean player. And at this point in the draft, he seems like a pretty good pick, so Stanimir Augustniak, welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. And now we're on to pick number 143. We skipped the 4th round. There are two-star potentials left. One of them is a goaltender, and the other seems like a bit of a project. So I think at this point, we'll probably just simulate ahead and skip the rest of the draft. All right, cool. We got Robbo as well at the original salary that we offered him. So I guess maybe it was a bit of a good thing that the game crashed on us there initially. And with those two signings, that puts us at 94 million. So we are just below the cap ceiling. Of course, we are at 24 players on our roster, but we are going to have to send down one of Ratzlaff or Robbo once the season starts, so we'll be at 23 by then. So I think that means we're ready to advance, and we'll go to the Hall of Fame inductions on August 1st. And the Hall of Fame inductions for this year, you have Jonathan Quick, Dan Boyle, Brent Burns, and Ryan Suter. Oh, that's interesting. Tage Thompson has converted to a right wing, which is a good thing because our center core is very deep, right? So then you have the first line of Ostlund, Thompson, and McKenna. Then you have Benson, Stenberg, Hellenius, Griva, Eklandasp, Aram Olsen. Aram Olsen with the 82-point season last year. I mean, I would think he would be our first line right winger. But now with Thompson, actually, I'm not sure if is that a good thing? I'm not sure anymore. Regardless, though, we have finished the preseason. So I think we're going to send down Robbo. And this will be our roster heading into year number 8. So you have Levi and Ratzlaff in net. On defense, you have Dahlin, Evans, Elofsson, Morrow, Faber, Ufko, and Romanov. And at forward, you have McKenna, Ostlund, Hellenius, Thompson, Benson, Eklandasp, Stenberg, Aram Olsen, Griva, Pedersen, Misik, Nuchev, Skarepa, and Onofrievich. So I think with that being said, that'll be about it for this one. But not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And I'll see you guys in the next one.